News Channel 3's Tyler Brummett is live tonight outside Stryker's global headquarters in Portage. And Tyler, Stryker says the situation has improved some since this morning.
Imagine you're sitting at your desk, Tuesday morning, cup of tea, probably gone cold. You go to log in and your laptop is on factory reset screen. You check your phone, same thing. You look around the office, everyone's screens are blank. Your mate Dave in accounts rings over, mine's wiped too. Then someone checks Slack, it's gone. Someone checks Teams, gone. Then someone realizes this is happening in every office, in every country, simultaneously. 200,000 devices, 79 countries, one morning gone. It's not a drill, it's not IT doing maintenance. That is the single most destructive corporate cyber attack of 2026. And it happened to a company making $25 billion a year. Stay with me, because the way they did it is genuinely terrifying. And it could happen to your company tomorrow. Right, first things first, who the heck is Stryker? Because half of you are thinking, is that the bloke from Call of Duty? No, different Stryker. Stryker Corporation is one of the world's largest medical technology companies. We're talking surgical equipment, orthopedic implants, neurotechnology, the kind that ends up inside people. They're based in Portage, Michigan, which, for context, is not exactly the most glamorous postcode in the world. But when you're pulling in $25 billion in annual revenue, you can afford to overlook the weather. 56,000 employees, operations in more than 60 countries. If you or someone you know has ever had a knee replacement, hip surgery, or a stint in a hospital using serious medical tech, there's a decent chance Stryker was involved somewhere along the supply chain. They are, in short, critical infrastructure, not officially designated as such, but when Stryker goes down, hospitals feel it. Which is exactly why someone chose them as a target. Now, let's talk about the people who did this. And I want you to pay attention here, because this is where it gets properly interesting. Handala, or as they're sometimes tracked, Void Manticore, Storm 842. They present themselves publicly as a pro-Palestinian, pro-Iranian hacktivist collective. They first showed up in late 2023 and have been increasingly active ever since, claiming attacks on Israel military systems, energy companies, and intelligence targets across the Middle East. But here's the thing. Multiple major threat intelligence firms, including Palo Alto Networks Unit 42, have assessed that Handala is not just a ragtag bunch of ideological keyboard warriors. They are assessed to be affiliated with the Iran's Ministry of Intelligence and Security, the MOIS, the Iran's equivalent of MI5 for those playing along at home. So when Handala says they did something, you're not dealing with some bloke in a bedsit in Croydon. You're potentially dealing with a state-backed operation with serious resources, serious tradecraft, and very deliberate objectives. And on March 11th, 2026, their objective was Stryker. Their stated reason, retaliation for a US military strike on a school in Manab, Iran, which Iranian state media reported killed at least 168 children. Make of that geopolitical context what you will. The point is that this was not random. This was deliberate and it was calculated. Alright. This is the bit I really want you to pay attention to, because most cyber attacks you hear about follow a familiar script, ransomware. Someone clicks a dodgy email, files get encrypted, you pay in Bitcoin and everybody has a bad week. This was completely different. There was no ransomware. Stryker themselves confirmed it, and I quote from their official statement, "No indication of ransomware or malware. So, how do you destroy 200,000 devices without using a virus? You used the company's own tools against them." Here's what researchers believe happened. And this has been reported by Arctic Wolf, Palo Alto Networks, and Bleeping Computers, among others. Step 1. Get in. Handala likely gained initial access through phishing, or by exploiting stolen credentials possibly harvested by InfoStealer malware that grabs someone's login details beforehand. Step 2. Move laterally. Once inside, they didn't immediately blow anything up. They were patient. They moved quietly through Stryker's network, escalating their privileges over days or weeks until they reached the crown jewels. And what were the crown jewels? Microsoft Intune. Now, if you've never heard of Microsoft Intune, let me explain it simply. It's a cloud-based platform that IT departments use to manage every device in a company, laptops, phones, tablets. If a device is enrolled in Intune, your IT team can push software to it, lock it, or, and here's the relevant bit, wipe it remotely. It's a feature, a legitimate, useful feature designed for when an employee loses their phone or leaves the company with sensitive data. Handala turned that feature into a weapon. At approximately 3:30 in the morning Eastern Standard Time on March 11th, 2026, someone with admin access to Stryker's Intune environment sent a single command: factory reset all devices now. And within minutes, laptops went blank, phones wiped, servers reset in 79 countries simultaneously. Employees arriving for their early shift watched their computers wipe themselves in real time. Some managed to yank out network cables fast enough to save their machines, but most didn't. In some departments, it's been reported that up to 95% of devices were gone before anybody could do anything. Let me put that another way. The most destructive weapon in this attack wasn't a piece of malware. It was an admin account and a drop-down menu. Now, let's talk about what this actually looked like on the ground. Because it's one thing to say 200,000 devices wiped. That sounds like a statistic. Let's make it feel a little bit more kind of real. Imagine being the manager at Stryker's London office. You get in at 7:30, you've got your Pret coffee, life is fine, and then your phone rings. And it's a colleague in Singapore who's been in since midnight their time, absolutely losing their mind. Then it's New York, then it's Paris, and then it's Johannesburg. By the time you've finished your first coffee, you've got 56,000 employees across more than 60 countries with no working devices, no access to any systems, and absolutely no idea what's going on. Because even the internal communication tools are gone. Stryker told workers not to switch on their devices. Don't connect to any networks. Don't do anything. Offices were effectively evacuated. And then, because this lot don't do things by halves, when employees tried to log into any company portal, they were greeted with Handala's logo plastered all over the login screens, just in case anyone was in any doubt about who'd done this. Meanwhile, on the financial markets, Stryker's stock dropped approximately 9% as the scale of the disruption became clear. 9% of a company worth tens of billions gone because of an admin login and a wipe command. The company had fallen back to manual ordering for hospital supplies. Their electronic ordering systems were down. Sales reps were ringing hospitals on their personal phones asking if they needed surgical equipment. I mean, imagine that conversation. So, how did Stryker respond? To their credit, and this matters, they moved quickly and they were transparent. Within hours of the attack, Stryker filed what's called an 8K with the SEC. That's a mandatory disclosure for publicly traded companies when something material happens that investors need to know about. The filing confirmed, and I'm quoting their own words here, a severe global disruption to the company's Microsoft environment. They engaged third-party forensic experts. They brought in CISA, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, to assist with the investigation. They confirmed that patient-facing medical devices were not affected. The surgical kit in hospitals was safe. That matters. They also confirmed something important. The cloud platforms that power some of their hospital communication tools, including products running on Amazon Web Services and Google Cloud, were untouched because they were architecturally separate from the compromised Microsoft environment. There's a lesson in that, by the way, and we'll come back to it. Handala, for their part, weren't exactly shy about it. They posted a lengthy statement claiming they'd not only wiped the devices, but also exfiltrated 50 terabytes of Stryker's corporate data. Stryker has not confirmed or denied the data theft element. That investigation is still ongoing. Handala also described the operation as, and I'm quoting them here, the start of a new era in cyber welfare. which is either a dramatic flair or a very concerning statement of intent, possibly both. Right, so what do we actually take away from all of this? Because I don't want this to just be a scary story. I want this to be useful. Lesson 1. Your management tools are your biggest attack surface. Microsoft Intune, Active Directory, Azure Entra ID. These tools are incredibly powerful. That power works both ways. If an attacker gets admin access to your device management platform, they can delete your entire company within a few clicks. That's not a Microsoft problem specifically. That's a we gave too much trust to one set of credentials problem. Arctic Wolf, in their analysis of this attack, made a recommendation that's beautifully simple. Require a second approver for any high-impact Intune operation. A remote wipe of all devices should require 2 senior admins to authorize it. One compromised account should never be able to nuke everything. Lesson 2. Phishing is still the way in. Despite all the fancy threat intelligence and nation-state framing, Handala almost certainly got their initial foothold the boring way. Somebody clicked something that they shouldn't have clicked, or reused the password, or got caught by an info stealer. The most sophisticated state-backed attack of the year started with the same thing that gets Dave from accounting every 2 months. Lesson 3. Geopolitics is now your problem too. This is the one that companies don't like to hear. Stryker acquired an Israeli medical technology company back in 2019. That connection, however tenuous, was cited as one possible reason that they were targeted. We are in an era where your corporate M&A history, your supply chain relationships, your investment portfolio, and all of it is fair game to threat actors motivated by ideology rather than profit. You don't have to be at the conflict, you just have to be adjacent to it. The Stryker wipeout incident is a landmark moment, not because it's the biggest hack ever, it isn't, but because of how it was done. No exotic zero-day exploit, no months-long malware campaign, just a stolen admin credential, a piece of enterprise software, and someone who understood that the most powerful delete button in the company isn't on any keyboard. It's in the IT management console. 200,000 devices, 79 countries, one morning, and all it took was a login. If you work in IT, in security, or you run a business, I genuinely hope this video was useful. Share it with whoever needs to hear it. If you want to see more breakdowns like this, subscribe, because we do this every week. And if you're now looking nervously at your own Microsoft Intune dashboard, good. That's the correct response. See you in the next one.